Two people can make the exact same money, work in the same hours in the same city, and 10 years later, one can still be broke and one financially free. That's not luck, that's not talent, and it's definitely not about income. It's about what you've been compounding in their life the whole time. See, most people think the reason they're struggling financially is because they don't make enough money. But I'm telling you right now, that's not the real problem. The real problem is, what have you been compounding? Have you been compounding the wrong things? Because compounding doesn't just work with money. It works with habits. It works with thinking. It works with decisions. It works with identity. And if the wrong things are compounding in your life, no amount of money is ever going to fix that. You've been told more money will change your life. But have you ever noticed that when people get pay rises, they still get stuck, they're still broke? Why? Because income doesn't change your life. Identity does. Who you believe you are. In this video, I'm going to show you the invisible system that's been running in the background of your life, like the operating system. I'm going to break down the three things that are compounding, whether you realize it or not. And by the end of this video, you're going to see exactly why some people stay stuck and others build real wealth that's at last. And once you see this, you won't be able to unsee it. Because the truth is, you're not broke because you don't work hard. You're broke because of what you've been repeating. Let me show you what I mean. Imagine two people. They both make $1,000 a week. Same income, same opportunity, same starting point. But fast forward, let's say 5 years. One of them is still living paycheck to paycheck, stressed, behind, wondering when is life going to change. And the other, they've got money set aside. They're investing and they've got options. Most people hear that and they say, well, one of them must have been smarter. They must have got lucky. No, the difference is, what have they been compounding? You've been trained to think the problem is income. And if I just made more money, everything would just be fine. But that's not true, because think about it in your own life. There was a point of time in your life that you didn't earn this much money. When I first got my job at McDonald's, I was earning $4.80 an hour. Hopefully I've got a point where I've got to earn more money than that. Because I've seen people double their money, but they double their stress at the exact same time. And I've seen people get ahead and then go right back to zero. Because while they're trying to grow their income, their money, are they growing themselves on the inside? Sometimes they're compounding debt. Sometimes they're compounding bad habits. Sometimes they're compounding excuses. And most dangerously, they're compounding their bad identity. Every time you say, I'm just bad with money, that compounds. Every time you avoid looking at your bank account, that compounds. Every time you choose comfort over discipline, that compounds. Every time you choose the altar of the long term to sacrifice for the short term, that compounds. Compounding doesn't care if it's positive or negative. It just asks one question. What are you repeating? Maybe have a think about it. What are you compounding? What are you repeating? Maybe let me know in the comments. Some bad habits, some good habits, some money habits. Just let me know. So back to those two people. It wasn't that the $1,000 a week that made the difference. It was one person was compounding consumption and the other was compounding discipline. One was compounding excuses and one was compounding ownership. One was in reinforcing their identity by I get by, and the other one was compounding a habit of I am someone that builds my future. And here's the part most people miss. The poor aren't just losing financially, they're also losing their identity. And this isn't about blaming people. This is just about awareness. This is about, if you don't know where you are, if you're lost in the middle of the city and you don't know where you are, how can you find your way? You need to identify where you are, because you can't change what you can't see. So the real problem isn't just about money. It's not just hard work. Then what exactly is compounding in your life right now? Let me show you three things that are quietly shaping your future every day. Whether you realize or not, these things are adding to your future. So, number one, your thinking. Your thinking. Everything starts with how you think, because your thinking creates your lens, and your lens determines what you see. If you have someone else's glasses on, it's blurry, it's foggy, you can't see. If you have blue glasses on, everything's blue, right? It discolors what you see. One person looks at a problem and says, I can't afford it. The next person looks at the problem and asks, how can I afford it? Same world, same problem, same situation, different outlook, different lens, different way of looking at life. One mindset shuts down the possibility, while the other opens up. The opportunities are endless. If your default thinking is always, I'm behind, I'm not good with money, this is how life is, that doesn't just sit in your head, that compounds. And that's the societal mechanism telling you who you are. Your life will always move in that direction of your most dominant thinking. Okay, number 2. Let's see if we can do this here. Number 2. Decisions. Now, thinking leads to your decisions, and your decisions are where your future starts getting built in real time. One person gets paid and their first thought is, what can I spend this on? How can I blow this money? Another person gets paid and they think, what can I keep? What can I build? How do I make this turn into more money? Same income, different decisions, completely different outcomes. One person avoids discomfort, puts things off, ignores problems, stays in the easy lane, and the other leans into discomfort, learns, adjusts, sacrifices short term for the long term. Your bank account is a reflection of your financial decisions, but your decisions are a reflection of your identity, who you believe you actually are. Okay, next one. Actions. And this is actions. This is where most people think the game is played, but it's not, because people think it's about intensity. Go hard, do more, stay motivated. No, compounding doesn't reward intensity, it awards consistency. One person invests $1,000 once. They feel good, they feel motivated, woohoo. Another invests $100 week in, week out, whether they feel good or they don't, whether the market's up, whether the market's down. And the difference is not just monetary, it's their identity. So here's what really happens. Your thinking, here we go. Your thinking shapes your decisions. Your decisions shape your actions. Your actions, they compound into results. And guess what? Your results help you change your thinking. Crazy cycle, right? On repeat. So I invest $100, or I think I'm not going to just spend my money, I'm going to do something with it. My decision is I'm going to decide to invest money. I actually invest it. Over time, it starts to grow, and then it reinforces my thinking. Oh, I am someone that builds money. I can see results. And then I can invest $1,000. Let's do it. Let's invest $1,000. Oh, look, I got more results. Oh, yes. And it just compounds over time. It doesn't happen instantly. It takes time. Day in, day out, week in, week out, month in, week out, year in, year out. The time's going to go past anyway. So why don't you make a decision that's going to build your life? Let me show you how powerful this is. If you're someone that just invests $100 a month, starting at 25 versus someone who waits until they're 40, the difference at retirement isn't small. It's hundreds of thousands of dollars. Don't miss this. The math isn't the problem. The reason most people don't get the result isn't because they don't understand the numbers. It's because they don't have the person, the identity who can follow through, who follows the pattern, who follows the sequence. You know what to do, and still you don't do it. How many of us know that we should eat better and exercise more? We know what to do, right? We know we should start investing. We know we should start putting money aside. But do you believe you're the person that is an investor. Because at the end of the day, you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your system, or you don't rise to the level of your strategy, you fall to the level of your identity. Who are you becoming? Becoming is the most beautiful thing you can work on. So if you really want to change your financial future, don't just start with money. Start with who you believe you are. Do you believe the lie, time is money? Do you believe the lie that if I just made more money per hour, I would be wealthier? No, you need to be more disciplined with what you have. So now we're going to get to the real issue, your identity. Identity is the story you believe about yourself. How many of us believe our lie identity, which is who someone told us we're not? We're not tall enough. We're not short enough. We're too fat. We're too skinny. I'm disabled. I can't do that. Right? We've had so many people through our lives tell us all these things that we're not. You need to start believing things that who you are. And you find that in God. God created you on purpose, for a purpose, and he planted a seed of his creativity inside of you so that you can serve others. That's why we're here, right? We're here to serve others. Imagine if we truly understood our identity, which we're here to serve others, and guess what? I'm here to serve you and you're here to serve me. Another conversation for a different day. If you see yourself as someone who's always broke, you'll unconsciously make broke decisions. You'll earn more and you'll spend more. You try to budget and then 2 weeks later you'll quit. You'll start making progress and then you'll sabotage it. Not because you're lazy, not because you don't care, but because your identity isn't consistent with who you think you are. You will always act in alignment with who you believe you are. You need to change the belief about yourself. You are someone that builds wealth. You are someone that's going to leave an inheritance to your children's children. This is why most people stay stuck. They keep looking for a better strategy, a better budget, a new side hustle, a new investment. But you can only the best strategy in the world will still fail, because if your identity doesn't match the strategy, you'll sabotage it. It's like having an operating system. If you don't upgrade your operating system, the software is not going to work. So let me show you what the wealthy people do differently, because it's not just about what they invest their money in. They invest in what produces money. Wealthy people compound. Better thinking, better skills, better relationships, better opportunities, and eventually better money. Most people try to jump straight to the money and they skip the things that make money grow. All these things that I just mentioned. That's like trying to harvest without ever planting. They don't just ask, how do I make more money? They ask, who do I need to become to attract and handle the money that I can make? That's what Genesis says, be fruitful. Be fruitful. Right at the beginning of Genesis, God commanded man to be fruitful, right? What's a fruit? A fruit which is something that has a seed inside it that can produce more fruit. An apple is going to produce more apples. An orange is going to produce more oranges. It's not going to produce bananas. Everyone has a seed of God's creativity inside of them. And that'll compound. The skills will compound. The relationships will compound. The discipline will compound. And over time, that compounding will flow into your money. So if you want to change your financial life, stop asking, what should I do? And start asking, who do I need to become? Instead of saying, I'm bad with money, shift to saying, I'm someone who's learning about money, how it works, how it functions, where money flows. Instead of saying I can't afford it, shift to I'm figuring out how can I afford it. I mean, I might choose not to buy it. That's a different answer, right? How can I afford this? Oh, at the end of the day, I don't want to buy it. That's okay, but not I can't afford it. Instead of I'll start later, start today. I'm the kind of person who's starting now. Instead of small thinking, think big. Create financial outcomes that you can achieve over time, because your identity changes your thinking, your decisions, your actions, and your results. That's your identity. And when you change that, your results have to change. If you change the input, the output has to change. If you put clean water in a hose, clean water is going to come out. If you put dirty water in a hose, dirty water is going to come out. Change the input, change the thinking, change the identity, and the decisions, the actions, and the results will follow. So the question isn't how do I get rich? It's what am I compounding? And who am I turning myself into? Let's make this simple. You don't need to fix your whole life today. You don't need to have the perfect plan. You don't need to suddenly become a completely different person overnight. But you do need to make a decision. This week, I want you to choose one thing in your life that you're going to compound differently. One thing, not 10, just one. Not an overhaul of your entire life. Maybe it's I'm going to track my finances every day. Maybe it's I'm going to invest some money into some small amount of money consistently. Maybe I'm going to start learning instead of just scrolling through social media every night or sitting down in front of the box and watching sport, watching your team, which guess what? No one in your team knows who you are. You know every player and every stat and can quote it left to right, front to back, but they have no idea who you are. Maybe start using all that energy into start growing yourself and start changing slowly over time. Because in 6 months from now is going to happen, 5 years from now is going to happen, but who are you going to become when that time arrives? Or are you just going to be living the same old Groundhog Day? I get home, scroll through social media, turn on the box, just watch life go by. Or are you going to be someone that compounds and builds their identity? So the real question is, are you going to keep reinforcing the identity of who you are right now? Or are you going to start building a new one? Because every action you take this week is a vote for the person you are becoming. Remember, you're not broke because you don't work hard. You're not broke because you're compounding the wrong things. And the good news is you can start compounding a different thing today. The rich don't have a secret investment. They have a different identity. Who are you becoming today? Thanks so much for watching. And don't compound the wrong things, start to compound the right. See you on the next video.